Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope that you are well and you are set for this beautiful show, the Benjamin Zulu Show. Now, have you ever wondered why there is value in telling your partner your whereabouts all the time? If you've never wondered and if you've never had a chance to see the need of doing that, now this show is not meant for you. Right? This show is meant for those people who are conscious. They know that marriage only works if you want to make it work. Right? And today, Benjamin is going to give you some pieces on how to make your marriage work by showing you the reasons or telling you the reasons why you should always tell your partner your whereabouts. Always. Hi, Benjamin.
Hey, and you know when you talk about whereabouts, it looks like simply where you are. Let's start on that level.
Yes.
What's your itinerary today? Where are you moving today? What's up to? There's several reasons. The obvious one is security. In case I don't see you, which side should I go to look for you?
Yeah.
All right. Can you imagine the shock and embarrassment when you thought your partner was in Nairobi, only to hear that an accident happened somewhere in Eldoret, and they are calling you because they found a phone there that has your number. Eldoret? No, I don't have anybody in Eldoret. And you are denying because they were going far away and they did not tell you. So the first obvious reason is security. Your own security and this person's ability to help you in times of need. You heard of that case where a body was burned beyond recognition after an accident, and they needed to check, I think it was family, and they needed to check the DNA. The DNA revealed other sins long after death. That this child is not even this man's.
Look at that.
You know, accident happened far away, they needed to establish. It's important to avoid having to do DNA, to avoid having to do what? And this is just in the worst case scenario in case something happens. But this is life. This is life, and it's important for your and let's clarify, we are not saying you need to be monitored. We are not saying I need to tell you now I've moved to this and now. This is not even practical, but I need to know the general direction you are in. All right?
Yeah.
I should know generally that my wife had things during Thika. She was going to a certain town, and because we are not, we will talk somewhere in the day. I can tell lastly we talked, she was around a certain place. This allows us to keep an eye on each other, to keep safe on each other for pure safety purposes. All right? The second reason is out of respect, Brahma. When you get married, there's a mindset you need to adapt.
Okay.
And there's an ego, pride, and arrogance you need to drop because it does not work with marriage. There's a certain kind of humility. There's a certain kind of decency in recognizing me as your life partner, a co-traveler. I want you to treat life as a journey. Every day we are moving a certain direction. Every day we are accomplishing some things. Every day we are pursuing some goals. And because we are together, doing things in tandem, fellows in a ship. Fellowship was named from fellows in a ship. Rowing that side, I'm rowing this side. We need to row in a rhythm. Sometimes in between there are cargo. We cannot see each other. But there was always a drummer, somebody drumming. Then we hear the drummer, both of us, and we row according to the drummer. The drummer. We need a way we are in rhythm, in sync, in rhythm. You're on that side, I'm on this side. As we run the affairs of the day, in the evening we meet, or at the weekend or wherever. Even if you live in Mombasa and I live, generally I should know your general plan for that week so that I feel like I am a part of your life. So the second reason you tell people what you're doing is because they are part of your life. If I am not worthy to know what you're doing, why am I your partner? I want to warn you that there are people who marry you and they still have a condescension. They still despise you. They still look down upon you. They still don't see you as worthy of attention. They still don't see you as worthy of being informed where this person is. If you marry a person who you think should not bother you, by asking where I should go, they should not be your partner. Marriage is about doing life together. Remember how we want these young girls who come to marry a person who is way older. This is one challenge they meet. The person doesn't see a need to update you on what they are doing because you look like you are a junior. Marriage requires people who see themselves as partner, not junior. There's no junior, senior, master, servant. There's no power dynamic like this. Respect is there. Specialization of roles. The man is a leader. We are not like we are competitors or rivals. The man is the leader, of course, but the woman is the helper. How do you help when you don't know what I'm up to? So another reason to tell me what you're up to is as a way of including me. All right? We say the other one is respect. To acknowledge my presence. This kind of inclusion that shows me, oh, you're going this way, I'm going this way, what's up, allows me to feel like I am a part of your life. And there's no point in saying I have a life partner if they are not a partner in day-to-day life. Which life is that then? Are they partner in? The other level I want to tell you about, I'm talking about financial whereabouts. And this is critical. Where your money is going. Financial management varies from couples to couple. It varies from people to people. There are people, we have many systems. There are people who use the pool system. Everything you get, you bring to a common pool. One account. Then from there, get what you need. From there, get what for the project. The people use the pool system. All right? Others use the need-based system. You pay for these bills, I pay for these bills. All right? We divide the needs. In all this, we are assuming both are earning. But seasons of life vary. You may find at some point the income is coming from one person. The other one is going through another schedule. Studying, preparing, training, or taking care of a kid or something. Seasons could be. But at that time when you're earning, both of you, people manage them in different ways. And one common system is pool. The other common system is dividing the responsibilities themselves. All right? The other system where the income is coming from one person is where to simply allocate. The other one could have maybe an allowance, or there's good for the shopping or whatever. You'd subdivide that way. In all modes, all those modes I'm counting, if you're making a major investment, if you're about to make a purchase or an engagement that affects family dynamics, that affects our future, that requires thinking, that has risk, that has benefits and risk, it's not only important for you to tell me, but we should discuss it. That this is a direction, there's this piece of property, there are these shares, there's this opportunity, there's this partnership, there's this, and you know, there have been a lot of tradition where men discuss their things in bar, in a club, or with their boys. And they commit, and the woman is not aware. Or the women discuss with their girls or their mother. And she's channeling money, they're buying things there, and the man is not aware. Financial secrecy leads to mistrust. Even when there was no mistrust. When I come to discover, you already bought something. You already built something. I feel not included. I feel left out. Where does that lead you? Where does that lead in the end? At the end of it all, I come to realize you are doing things behind my back, under the table, even if it's your money. Why am I your partner? All right? There are people asking, what if my partner is not trustworthy? I tell them and they discourage it. There are people like that. You tell them what you're up to, they come up with all reasons. Why it is a terrible idea. They come up with all reasons saying, what will happen if you do this? What will happen if you do this? What will happen if you do this? Once you learn a person has a certain kind of fear that holds them back, let me remind you, you have to make a difficult decision. Are they still good enough to stay married to? Once you decide, it's a person I can still stay married to. Now, you not allow them to discourage you. You get your financial advice from those who are worthy to advise. You always know the best thing, as we said, to marry is to marry a friend. A person you can relax around. You tone down. Remove your guard. Say what you're thinking. Explore possibilities. Discuss what's next. Now, the problem with today's society is many people marry for other reasons, so that this person is not your friend. You cannot trust them with ideas. You cannot trust them with an idea you are incubating. They'll thwart it. They'll discourage it. Even try to inspire you with fear. And you can see those kind of people, if you're not wise and you continue following this person, they hold you back. In fact, you say you have 300,000 Kenya shillings you wanted to put somewhere. They tell you, I have another better idea, bring. Then they go waste it elsewhere to pull you back. after a while you'll have learned who you're dealing with. Do you know how unfortunate it is when you deny who you're dealing with and you continue letting them draw you back? Your period of investment, remember, your life only has seasons. And the season for investment is generally short. Is that period from around 30 to 60 thereabout, when you're at the peak of your career maybe? That's when you can build empires, build things, and ideally, you don't want to remain financially vulnerable for all those years. You like to use 10, 15, 20 years at most maybe to gain some independence so that you have your own income now coming from how you have been investing. And even if you're working out of passion. You're earning, yes, but you're not depending on what you're earning with your hands anymore. All right? Yeah. Once you learn a person is fearful, cautious, too cautious, and discourages, you tell them when you have already researched, or probably when the thing is far ahead enough, they can't stop it. Because they're still your partner. You can't say, I can't tell them because I don't trust them with it. Why do you trust a person with your life and you don't trust them with your money?
Exactly.
If you trust a person with your life, remember, if you died, there will people come to fight over what you look for. How many people have died and their family were, everything was taken away? They were left without anything because they were not included. Those people who know the things exist, they act like they're the ones who deserve them. There are men who disclose to their mothers and not the wife. All right? They buy something and the mother knows. Let me remind you, Bramwell, that your mother and your wife are on different timelines.
Yeah.
And if you are, of course, we hope people live long, but be practical as well. These people are not in the same age group. There is what you show your mother, there is what you show your wife. And in any case, as I told you, as much as possible, if your wife gets along with your mother, hopefully, you need to balance your relationship so that you don't have to keep secrets from any of them.
Okay.
More so from your wife. Your wife is your life partner. Your mother is your mother. Let her know what she needs to know. But when it comes to decisions of your family, the financial decisions, investments, you're supposed to involve your woman. So your financial whereabouts, I mean where your money is going about, where your money is going. Now, let me warn you about those people who incur debts and you only come to know later. They invested and it went haywire. And they wrote you as next of kin.
Yes.
Then creditors knock the door. They want to ask, tell us about this, tell us about this, tell us about this. And you are not aware and you are married. But you're written as a next of kin. And they say, we want the estate of that person. Estate is their properties. Now they start liquidating. Or now you start calling for fundraising and I told you to be very careful not to compensate for people's bad decisions that were foreseeable and they did not think you worth enough to tell you about it. Had we discussed and it went south, we can handle it together.
Yeah.
But if you went behind my back, you should also go behind my back to fix it. You created the problem behind my back.
Go behind my back and fix it.
They disrespected you by excluding you. Why would you undertake the burden? And many of them, it's huge amounts, and you can't see what they did with it. Huge amount. Money. Now, let me tell you something. Money and time, they're related. You hear time is money. Let me tell you that sometimes money is time itself. If you had accumulated $1 million, Bramwell, took you 2 years to save $1 million. Now, a person has gone and squandered people's money. Will you take the 2-year worth savings to go put somewhere where you can't see where? Remember what you said about when you come from poor families?
Yes.
You have to deal with the ditches. Those of us who are experienced in ditches. By ditch, we mean financial deficiencies.
Yes.
You have to start with a loan, man. Can you imagine starting life with a loan?
Black man tax.
You have to start life by putting up basic infrastructure. The one you can't brag about. It does not give you bragging rights. You can't even take a photo and put online. Or can you put a latrine online? People will ask you, what were they using before? Finally, we completed our latrine, guys, with that guy. Oh, sorry. Where did you put? Sorry. See, some of us are experienced and we are very afraid. I think we should tell people to prepare for our paranoia. Those of us who have had a confrontation with the poverty. Problem. Do you know the pain of working and you can't see what you worked for?
Look at that.
You're paid and the money comes.
Yes.
It evaporates like this. Problem. And it is going to cover shame. No. In fact, when I see a wasteful person, I feel fear. When I see a financially responsible person, I can't believe it. Mm-hmm. I have suffered the consequences of poor planning, failure to see ahead. Yeah. I have had to work double. And I know other guys who are working half my speed. And they're having a better life. They can afford to buy good clothes, live a good house, buy a car. And they're not even as driven or fanatic about the job as me. Because I'm dealing with a situation. I'm working for survival, they're working for success. Do you see the difference? Those people are not the same.
Yes.
When you see an antelope and a lion running, one is running for food. That one can afford to give up. This food is too troublesome. I will get another one. But the other one is running for their life. Or is likely to run more. Some of us in the first phase of our jobs, man, we are working for our lives. Mm-hmm. We are trying to restore our dignity. We are trying to restore, our right to be human. Poverty deprives you of the right to be human. Yeah. Takes away every sense of honor. I keep asking you, when you see a woman with a torn lasso, torn shoe, an adult mother with torn clothes, how do you feel, man? Deep grief, deep sadness. When you see them, like, they're emaciated, they have not eaten. How do you feel an adult who has no food, man? Doesn't that scare you? I said what? When I compared between the pangs of poverty and the romance, let me invite you to my personal philosophy. I could see guys dating, hey, we're in campus, wedding. I'm looking from far. I had a situation to correct. One reason I want to keep updating my wife what we are up to. It's what we are up to speed together. To also pray about it, man. Yeah. To research about it, man. To think together, man. When you meet a woman with whom you can reason together, two minds thinking together are called a mastermind. Mm-hmm. That's a super mind. You have two resources, man. If you get a lady with whom you can reason together, don't let your secrets and ego deprive you of our input that could have shaped the idea and made it better. Remember we say, don't marry a girl before you tell her your financial dream. Mm. When people don't describe their financial dream, it's because they're not dreaming. Don't try to make it deep. Can you stop? Don't deepen psychology. Oh, it's about maybe they're still waiting to open their third eye. Don't complicate life. When people don't talk about their dreams, it's because
they're not dreaming.
Simple. Yes. When people keep talking about survival, job, this, that person, the moment they have enough to survive, that's where they become reckless with money. Because they have already gotten out of trouble. And I told you, every human being, it's not, I know you've heard these issues about trouble reveals character. Trouble does not reveal character. It does not give you option. It forces you to fight for your life. Yes. You don't need to know how to swim, to fight not to sink. When you find yourself in water, whether you are an expert swimmer, you have to struggle not to drown. Everybody in poverty will struggle not to drown. Yeah. You can't call them the best swimmer you ever saw. They're fighting for their life. There are no awards here, no cameras. When you find a person who has no money, no rent, no what, that's what guys in the city go to date a girl in the village who comes from a very needy family. And he goes home with her shopping. And they are very happy that week has been sorted in terms of food. And probably thinks he's loved. Our son! Yes. Hey. And the girl is worshipful. Did I warn you against worshipful people? Don't marry a worshipful person. Because they can't challenge you. We never challenge who we worship. Yeah. You challenge God? No, God, there you are wrong. And in fact, I can criticize you. When you worship people, you honor them too much, you can't challenge them. Mm-hmm. Of course, God is perfect. We're just saying when people honor you too much, they cannot challenge you. Mm-hmm. So the reason I want you to include, the reason I want you to discuss, is because one reason you are in poverty yourself. Mm-hmm. You're coming from struggle because of those patterns of not being united, not thinking together, not seeing far. In fact, I will surprise you, most couples are not, it's not that both of them are irresponsible. Mm-hmm. I told you about sometimes you have joint foolishness. Yeah. You can find people getting it wrong together. Sometimes you listen to two people explaining and you're waiting for one of them to awaken the other. Yeah. They are both asleep. They make very terrible decisions together. Be careful with collaborative foolishness. And so, many couples, one of them was financially sound. They could see what works. Yeah. But they were simply left out. Do you get it? Mm-hmm. The person who had money did not have the ideas. The one who had the ideas did not have the money. And there was no unity. Yes. They kept talking to their sister, their brother, their friend, their whoever. And they ignore this other one. So years pass. Seed capital. Your first money is not wealth. Don't brag with your first salary. Are we together? Mm-hmm. Don't go around and say, yeah, guys, I'm a 6-figure. Salary is not wealth. Yeah. It's seed. Wealth is what comes from what you planted. Mm-hmm. Where you sent your money. If now you have your assets, you have rentals, you have shares, you have, and that does not come when you're this young. So don't bother explaining to me. I don't mean to explain. I don't say I know everything, but I know what I don't need to know. I don't need details. It's like a child telling you, I have a secret. You want me to tell you a secret? You just cooperate to entertain the child. Surely, how much surprise can a child pull? So, it's just a game. I'm hiding something for you, something nice, surely, in the hand of a child. So, the best you can expect is one bob or a piece of a sweet. Or nothing. It was a surprise. Nothing. So, from young people of my age, there is not much surprise. Yeah, I don't need details. I'm okay. Unless we had a fat inheritance, yes. Which in Africa is the small minority. Many of us have to start from zero. Mm-hmm. So, as to tell you, if you squander this by using it, sending here, without thinking together with your wife, the period could pass when you had seed capital and it's gone. Yeah. Then children arrive. School fees, bills, rat race. Yes. The rat race begins. Did I warn you to never let these 3 guys meet you together? Mm-hmm. There are 3 guys. You must never let them converge in your house. One of them is school fees. Yes. And the other one is rent. The other one is marriage bills. Mm. When you're married, there are some bills that come automatically. All right? Mm-hmm. Whether you are wealthy or not, the fact that you took a wife. There before, you were still living somewhere. But bachelors don't have exact budget for shopping. Thank you. We purchase on necessity basis. Sugar is out, canteen, sugary. Yes. But when you get married now, there's a budget code. Let me introduce the definition of terms. Shopping. When you get married, you need facilities quickly. If you're a professional person, sooner or later, a car will become an absolute necessity. Yeah. When you're this busy, now you have a wife, errands, sometimes at night. Mm. Sometimes you need to dash home. You have 2 families now. Both of you are 2 people. Mm. You had parallel lives. You're merging them. There'll be a lot of things, moving parts. The moving parts are multiplying triple. So getting married, there's salon now. Oh, salon. You know, shaving is removing something, and it's not very expensive.
70 bob.
Exactly.
Least.
Our budget for change. It's not. And even if you don't have money now, that guy you give him in the evening, guys use the same barber shop. Men are very, very loyal.
Yeah.
The life of men is simple. Men are also very patternistic. In fact, guys can use the same routine for years. For years. They arrive at the same time, because that's what allows us to function, to focus. All right? Routines allow us to focus, to release our mind to what matters.
Yeah.
That's why you can close your house and you don't remember closing it. But you closed. You don't think about it when you're closing.
Yes.
It's just so for men, many times things like head, it was never a budget really. Another thing that was not quite a budget is our clothes. We used to wear clothes. Please don't get it wrong. We never walked naked. Yeah, when you're single,
anything.
Yeah, when
So long as you're not naked.
Yeah, exactly. So we buy clothes with a surplus. We use what remains to buy a suit. Or when there's a wedding. Now at least there's a shoe and a suit. So, but when you get married, suddenly now there's a person monitoring clothes. So getting married has bills. Don't get married. Don't get school fees. Don't get rent. Meet together. When you don't have a steady income. If they ever converge together, many times I always tell people, by the time fees becomes necessary, be living in your own house. You have escaped rent, now you're paying fees. All right? When you get married, you're paying the bills of getting married. Avoid, now that you have married and rent, keep the fees at bay.
Yeah.
So that by the time you're paying fees, you're not paying landlord. The bills of getting married are for life. But they increase with time. Yeah. Have you seen how men get so stressed when they rush without thinking? So stressed. Marriage on its own, even if there's no child, has bills. Yeah. As I've shown you. Things like shopping, clothing. There's now, you start to need new sofa set, new furniture, new everything. This woman wants to make this a home. For you, it was just a cage.
A cage.
Have you seen how men like dark colors? Black sofa set, black carpet, black shoes, black
curtains.
Because black things are easy to maintain. They're not demanding. If you bring white, it will show dust quickly. So you spot quickly. Too much. So you enter the house and it looks like 40 Jesus. Even when light is on. You've seen how ladies open the windows, they like aeration, yes. They bring fragrance or fragraho. Men would never have done those kind of, just come in the evening, lie your head, wake up, go to work.
Go, yes.
So then they want new utensils. She saw a certain TV somewhere. She's showing you photos of, and you're agreeing, but you're knowing the implication behind. So when a woman comes, if she's a good woman, I'm not talking about the careless type that men drag from the road to home. Talking about a wife worth the name.
Yes.
She wants to bring standards and make it a home. Many times you'll have to move from the cage you are living in. And the bigger the house, houses don't stay empty. When you start building, I'll tell you some of the things you want to do. Don't build humongous houses because you have to fill them with the furniture. It can't stay empty like a home. The cost of building it, you may be able to stretch and meet it. But the cost of filling it with things, because it will have echo. When it is empty, you talk and it talks back. So there's wisdom in building sizable, just enough, all right? Yeah. So that you can move to other things. So always avoid those three guys coming together. Deal with the two at most, just two. If you see a guy who has to buy food and shopping, and he has to pay rent, and he has to pay fees, and he has to pay movement. Majority of the cost, marriage cost, is movement. Apart from the shopping, then the movement. If you have to get taxi, if you have to pay matatu, and then you're paying fees, and then you're paying rent. That convergence is very stressful, even if you're well paid. Because when you're well paid, you can also get sacked. The job can happen, something can happen.
Pay cut.
Look at that. Yes. Suddenly now you're up in arms. And I told you to avoid the debts. The only loans I allow you to take are developmental loans. A loan that is going directly to development, not for consumption. Also, as much as possible, make sure you have health insurance. Insurance does not always mean the cover from the companies. That is one way. Yeah. That is one way that is very convenient. You can take that, or you can insure each other. People have come up with a way of realizing, instead of, when you give the company money, even if you don't fall sick, it's gone. They will never return. Yeah. They were saying they were taking the risk for a year, and if it does not happen, thank you. The money is theirs. Yeah. What if you can time the money and come together as a group? Guys have insured themselves. They say, how much are we likely to need? We are 5 of us. Each of us 100K. That's 500K. Put it there. After a year, it has not gone anywhere. Yeah. We can either use it to insure the following year, or we add to our policy. If you can get even 2 of you to behave that way, you have covered yourself, and that money can also be for investment. Later on, you invest somewhere. In case of anything, we'll use that investment to pay. You understand? Yeah. So covering does not just mean another guy covering you. It means you having provision so that should you need some small money, it does not inconvenience every moment. You understand? So make sure you are aware about where your money is going, who you are partnering with, who is coming to your life financially, where you are. Make sure your partner is in the know. You may not always give details as if you're being investigated, but you give enough information for them to be in the know about, as a family, which direction are we headed. All right? And that also allows them to contribute ideas and money. Once they feel included, they will contribute. They want to be part of it. They want to say, I was part of it. I added energy to it. Yeah. I
like that, Benjamin. And you see, one of the reasons as to why most men don't reveal or don't share with their wives some of these things you're talking about, Benjamin, is they fear that they'll be policed, as you said.
You're right.
You see? And that's why you realize most men are very dismissive when it comes to sharing with their partner whatever they have. And you've asked a very good question during the first presentation. You said, if you are sharing your life with somebody, your body with this lady, now what it is that you are hiding when it comes to property.
Us, if you can sleep at night and remove your clothes and sleep with this person, being totally vulnerable, which vulnerability is beyond that? Let's think, men. If a woman is worthy to be a wife, she's worthy to be included.
Yes.
If she's not worthy to be included, she's not worthy to be a wife. Can you marry a wife? Not a suspect. Why do we treat our partners like suspects?
Suspects. And I like that, Benjamin. And that is why you'll realize, if you carry out an opinion poll, you'll realize that some men say, I'll rather share all these things with my mother as compared to my wife.
Why did you need another woman when you already had your mother? You see, this woman was supposed to be your first woman. If she's not, can you also tell a woman before you marry her that you'll always give your secrets to your mother, not her, and let her see whether she will marry you? This is deception, Brahma.
Yes.
This is a deception. And let's warn women and also us men. If your woman shares things with her family, not you, what are you doing in her life? You needed a person we can include each other. Yeah. I needed a person we can be a team. And if we can't be a team, there's no point. Yeah. You get? Let's remind people that it's mandatory. It's compulsory that for the marriage to work, there must be vulnerability and openness. If you swear, can never tell anything to men, to women, don't marry any of them.
Good.
Stand by your word. Stand by your word and say, because I can't disclose to anybody, I'm living alone.
And then you'd realize we have some women who fear disclosing what they have to their men. All right? Why? It is either their men will use whatever they have badly, or they'll be abused, all right? Or their men will they feel intimidated.
Yeah, let's remind people that don't just come together as a couple, also grow together. Shape your lives together. Head the same direction. So that at every point you can be free with each other. But if you realize your partner has conspiracies out there, maybe disclosing information, talking maliciously about you, maybe they are communicating indirectly. They are tired of being your partner. Your partner should be your friend. Yes. Not one of your enemies, or a spy, or a live-in spy who is taking, a surveillance camera, who is telling them what you're up to. I should never have to hide things from my partner if they are my partner. I should hide from the world, not my inner world. You are a part of my inner circle.
All right. And sharing this information, Benjamin, sharing all the secrets we might be having, comes only at a level whereby both of you are agreeing. Both of you have a vision, and one vision for that matter when it comes to marriage. Because the moment you have two visions in marriage, it becomes die. You see? Which brings division.
Exactly.
Benjamin. So you'll realize some people actually resist sharing whatever they have because of fear of competition from the other partner.
Yes, and we should never have to compete because we are a team.
Yeah.
Let me remind you that I've told you many people have financial vision. The other one has the finances but no vision. This one has ideas, the other one has money. But if we suspect each other, there's mistrust. We compete. Instead of complementing, the time will pass and we'll still remain poor. Did I remind you that marriage should be a part of where you are going? It should take you where you are going. You should not live for marriage. Those who live only to stay married, sacrifice everything else, like financial independence, like building wealth, to stay married. I told you, me and you, Bramwell, if you knew you are marrying a person to keep you in poverty, will you marry them?
No.
That answer is from the heart. Bramwell, we know where we are coming from.
Yes.
I don't want a person to take me back there. So if I marry a girl and I realize she has a sweet tooth for alcohol. Yeah? This is a girl who loves the bottle. Gulping. And you know alcohol is the most expensive addiction on earth.
Yes.
Of course, apart from other drugs like cocaine. But alcohol. You know alcohol is legal. These other things, many of them are illegal, you have to hide. But alcohol is permitted. That thing they call 1 liter muzinga of whiskey. Do you know they range 7,000, 4,000, 12,000? That thing is rent. They can drink rent in one sitting.
Rent.
Hey.
And they drink while closing their eyes.
The money that was meant to purchase a car, they can drink all of it.
Yeah.
And alcohol is very communal. Most people don't drink alone. Very communal. I tell you. Suddenly they are united around the vice of drinking. Yeah? Go check the prices of wine.
Yeah.
And you'll be shocked. Wine. There is no wine that... I think, were they meant for luxury things? Because they're not meant... They don't sell like juice or soda.
Yes.
The price is over there. Now, if you discover that the person you are marrying is alcoholic, what are you signing up for? Poverty. Carrying an adult who is peeing on themselves. There are people who drink socially, of course. They never get drunk. They easily socially. And as I told you, you don't have to act holier than thou when people are in a party and they're taking wine. It's okay if you sip here and there to socialize. But we are talking about those people who must drink to unlock. Yeah, there's a lock. They must remove. Don't you remember those teachers who would only teach when they have a shot?
Yeah.
And they're smelling. That's they're happy now. Teaching. And they're drunk. That's the group we are saying, that person, you can't go anywhere. They're married to that alcohol.
Yeah.
Addicts are not in control of their lives. They are slaves of what they're addicted to. If a person is addicted to alcohol, that alcohol takes the center stage in their life. Yeah. And they will never have space for a healthy relationship. Those who have too much mercy, who I know, this person has a problem with alcohol, but we can work out things. You will not work out things. You are becoming a living rehabilitator. To wait for them at night, and drinking alcoholism deteriorates over the years. You can't get the same feeling from the same beer every time. It goes increasing. You need more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
How much money? People have drunk away empires. And they make drunk purchases. Not just drinking, but what they can buy when they're high like that. The decisions they can make. The money they can commit. The losses. The embarrassment. The stress. Okay? So it's to say, you should not assume just because a person has this kind of problem, we can work it out together. If you start to get married, if you fear poverty, always remember where you are going in life.
Yeah.
and marry to take you there. If you want financial independence, marry to go towards financial
independence.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Guys, there you have the secret. Marry depending on where you are headed. And always remember, two cannot work together unless they agree. Thank you for watching Benjamin Zulu Show.